All right, so I have just started recording the I Am Fabulous webinar. So good evening, everyone. It's really exciting to be with you. This is my first I Am Fabulous webinar, but it's actually the third class that I've run of this type. So I've had two in my home here in Brisbane, and this is the first online one. And it's quite wonderful, the response that I've received from this class. It's absolutely great. So it's really good that the word is out. And I'm going to Melbourne on Saturday, and I'm doing one down in Melbourne on Saturday afternoon. So what we're going to be doing is we're actually going to be looking at the slideshow on my screen. So I'm just going to go on to share screen now, and I'm going to bring up the slideshow. Okay. So can everybody see the PowerPoint there?
Yeah. Yeah.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, so if you're hoping to be in the I Am Fabulous Blends for Emotional Wellbeing class, you're certainly in the right place. So just a little bit about the class. So Desiree Mangendog, she's an acupuncturist and essential oils expert and a doTERRA Blue Diamond as well. So she has created 45 essential oil blends and application protocol based on principles of Chinese medicine. So she's an acupuncturist by trade, and so she specialises in the classical 5 elements. So the 5 elements: metal, earth, wind, fire, and water. You might have heard about those classical 5 elements of Chinese medicine, but it's more so about the way that the oils are applied on our body and the places that the oils are applied to. So this is very much about the emotional side of the essential oils, which from my point of view is something that has really interested me ever since I've been, not ever since I've been using the oils, but probably for quite a while since I've been using doTERRA. So I was first drawn to using doTERRA oils for issues around sleep and stress. And my good friend Andrea put something on Facebook one day about how she was managing those particular I suppose, issues in her life. And I went, that sounds absolutely fantastic. And that was nearly 3 years ago. So, yeah, it's just been quite an incredible journey for me. So I use the oils, obviously, every day for lots of different things, but sleep and stress is a big side of it for me. And the whole therapeutic side of it is just one of those added bonuses, I guess. So Desiree believes that 99% of illnesses are rooted in the spirit, and that your physical and spiritual being is affected by emotions. So what we're doing is we're working with our therapeutic grade essential oils, which is our doTERRA essential oils, of course. We're working with specific acupuncture points to targeted organ meridians, which will create quick emotional shifts. Where focus goes, energy flows. So I have to move my little bar around. So what we're doing is we're looking to release limiting beliefs, heal the heart from pain and rejection and disappointment, provide clarity on your divine purpose, build confidence, and create momentum as you project yourself out into the world. So it's time for you to live your highest and best self and share your talents with humanity, because the world needs you to be fabulous. Mm-hmm. Now, if anyone wants to jump in, or if I'm talking too fast or anything, just please let me know, and I'm happy to slow down or to stop.
Sarah, you're giving us the notes on these, aren't you? We don't have to take notes.
No, so I'm actually going to email you all the tear sheet. So the tear sheet is a 2-sided sheet like that. So I know some people got it. I mailed it to Merrin with the book. So anyone I've actually sent the book to, I've given the tear sheet to. But I will email this in a PDF out. So you don't actually have to take notes if you don't want to. Not all of this stuff is actually on the tear sheet. So certainly if you want to use your mobile phone to take photos of the slides, you're more than welcome to do that. But most of what we're talking about is actually on the tear sheet, which I'll give you, and I'll email that to you later. Is that okay?
Yeah, beautiful.
Okay. So, and this beginning part isn't actually on the tear sheet. So this is just a little bit of an extra. So if you want to take photos of it, it's fine. So there's a subtle bioenergy that flows through all organic life, and it goes by many names, but it's sometimes referred to Qi or life force, as per the little Asian symbol down there. So science says emotions are just vibrations, as science says everything in the universe is energy. So everybody on this planet is vibrating at a very subtle hertz or frequency rate, or their personal vibration. So we've got a base metabolic rate, but when events start happening in our life, it goes down or up depending on what emotion or what we're actually experiencing at that time. So high vibrations are generally associated with positive qualities, such as love, forgiveness, compassion, and low vibrations are assisted with, darker qualities, hatred, fear, and sickness as well. So just for you guys to have a little bit of an exercise to see how your emotions can actually impact on your frequency. Just imagine yourself feeling absolutely hopeless. So put yourself, close your eyes, and put yourself in a state where you feel that there's nothing ahead, there's nothing but a darkness in front of you. You can't envisage any way forward. And how does it actually feel for you? So for me, it just feels, I start feeling a little bit funny in my tummy. So I'm starting to feel, emotions in my stomach, and by doing that, what we've actually done is we've lowered the vibrations in our body just by having that exercise of feeling hopeless and feeling terrible. So you can see how much our body is impacted, obviously, by the emotions. So just a couple of stats there. If we're diseased, vibrating at about 50 megahertz, cancer's 42, death is 25, let's not get there. But the healthy human brain vibrates at around about 68 to 78 megahertz. So when our frequency lowers, our body actually becomes more vulnerable. So we know what happens when we get vulnerable, emotionally vulnerable, physically vulnerable. Generally, we'll get sick. And I'm sure that's happened to everybody. It's certainly happened to me before. So one of the easiest ways to determine whether or not you're vibrating at a high frequency or a low frequency is just by paying attention to how you feel. So how are you feeling? Are you feeling light, energized, or are you feeling heavy and a bit hopeless and a bit down? And, I'm not saying that we need to feel light and energized and clear and healthy all the time, because no human can possibly feel that way. But, we actually have our amazing tools at our fingertips to actually change the vibration that we're feeling. So if you're feeling happy and healthy and energized and you're operating at a high vibration, conversely, there's the low vibration. So if you're having a negative thought, it brings us down 12 megahertz. Positive thoughts brings us up 10. So it's quite an impact on how we feel. Okay. So essential oils vibrate between 52 to 580 megahertz. By smelling and diffusing and applying therapeutic grade essential oils, you can immediately increase your vibrational energy. So there's just some oils on the screen there. So we're starting at basil, which is vibrates at 52, all the way up to our beautiful rose, which is 350 megahertz. So you can see that, obviously the more expensive oils vibrate at a higher frequency, but certainly, rose is quite staggering. So what they're 52 to 580 megahertz, you'll never guess what operates at 580 megahertz. It's a Young Living oil. It's called Idaho Blue Spruce. And when I did some research on my first class that I did, and I discovered this oil, I actually had to go and buy it online retail from Young Living. It's like a really mild version of Douglas fir. But anyway, just in case you saw the 580 and you're wondering what it is, that's what it is. But of course, we've got access to rose now, which is beautiful. So rose vibrates at 320 megahertz. And I hope you've all got your rose, which is lovely.
Does that include diluted levels? It doesn't make any difference?
It doesn't say. And I would probably think it would be neat, Leslie. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, to give it that really concentrated, impact. Yeah, it's a good question, though. Okay.
How do they measure the frequency, the vibrational frequency of things, like of us and for the oils?
How do they measure it?
Yeah.
There was a test done, and you can Google it. It was a test done actually measuring the frequency of essential oils by the Young Living founder, and his name escapes me.
Gary.
But it was some
Young.
Gary Young, yeah, some test that he did. Now, not everybody believes in that. Some people think that's a bit of poo-poo, but yeah, it really just depends on whether or not you subscribe to that or not. You know, science says that everything vibrates at a frequency, every living thing vibrates at a frequency, but so you would think that, you know, we would have essential oils also, you know, doing that then, you know, since they're so volatile. So why we use essential oils for emotional wellness? So we know that our emotional health greatly affects our physical health. We know that our physical, relational, spiritual and professional success is dependent on emotional maturity and our ability to handle obstacles. And so emotional wellness allows you to become the best version of yourself and make your dreams come true. So what we're doing in this class. So we're walking you through the protocol by applying specific essential oils to acupuncture points to remove common blockages. We're addressing overwhelm, fears, self-esteem, clarity and personal power. And we provide recommendations on how to navigate the I Am Fabulous book. And so this essential oil protocol will shift your emotional energy by 320 to 350 megahertz. So we just ask you not to fuse any essential oils during this protocol because it is, you know, we're applying these oils neat. They are quite powerful, and drink plenty of water. Okay, so you ready?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Keen.
Okay. So our first essential oil is our tea tree or melaleuca, which is the oil of energetic boundaries. So tea tree is one of these oils that it cleanses attachments that do not serve us, and it cleanses that negative self-talk. So sometimes when we get into the pattern of having that negative self-talk, we're telling ourselves we're not worthy, we're not good enough, or we're involving ourselves with people who are maybe negative influences on our life, and they have what's called, what Desiree refers to as energetic hooks. So we might all have that person who kind of likes to get their energetic hooks into us, and kind of, you know, suck the fun out of us. I don't know, I've got a few people in my life a little bit like that. None are present at the moment. So in order to try and sort of break those unhealthy attachments, tea tree can definitely do that. So what we do is we take our tea tree and we are going to apply it to the spots that you can see there. So there's 4 spots. So there's the back of the neck, there's the throat, there's the heart, and around the belly button. So I just take it, a drop on your finger like that, back of the neck, the throat, heart, and just around the belly. Now later on in the slideshow, I'll give you a series of affirmations which aren't part of the I Am Fabulous book, but if you like affirmations, you can take a shot of those as well. So by applying tea tree and On Guard, because On Guard is our protective blend, you create boundaries for yourself. Desiree gave another protocol, and I'll just give this to you briefly now, of On Guard. So we know On Guard is and On Guard's not part of this protocol, but it's just a little extra one for you. On Guard is the oil of protection. If you really have issues with your personal space, certainly On Guard can help you with that. But by applying On Guard to your solar plexus every day for 3 weeks, you can actually build emotional protection. Okay, so that's On Guard solar plexus for each day for 3 weeks. Now, if you happen to use Pettigrain, it'll only take 2 weeks. So that's a couple of, you know, if you are a person who are quite influenced and affected by the way that people interact with you emotionally, and you want to try and build those barriers, certainly that protocol can help you.
Right.
So, sorry, Sarah, is that Pettigrain instead of On Guard?
If you want it to only take 2 weeks, so Pettigrain will speed it up by a week, so Pettigrain will take 2 weeks.
Yeah, so you use it by itself though, you don't use it together.
No, by itself. So it's either on guard for 3 weeks,
Okay.
on the solar plexus, which is just above your belly button there, or pettigrain for 2 weeks.
Okay, thanks.
Yeah.
Mm.
All right. So we've all done our tea tree.
Yep.
Yeah.
All right. So the next one is oregano. So oregano is the oil that helps you to step out of yourself, to get perspective and see what needs to be changed. It can create an open mind and flexibility to make necessary changes for personal growth. And by applying it to the spot on top of your head, it can access the brain quickly. And that's why in Chinese medicine, it's a popular application spot. So I just find a little spot in the middle of my head, part my hair, and just roll it in a little ball, or dab it if you've got it diluted onto your head like that. That's the oregano. So it's the oil of humility and non-attachment for those who have the emotions book. Oregano is an incredibly powerful oil, not just emotionally, but therapeutically as well, for immune boosting. It's very strong. So, yep, so that's our oregano, diluted. Make sure you do dilute it on the top of your head there, just in the middle of your skull. Okay, so the next one, and this is, so we're in our first section. So when you look at the tear sheet, it's in 4 parts. So we're actually going through the Eliminate Overwhelm section at the moment. So the last part of Eliminate Overwhelm is Cypress. So for those who aren't familiar with Cypress, or you may be because you've got the oil, it's the oil of motion and flow. So Cypress very powerfully moves stagnation, especially those stuck in old ways of thinking and feeling. It's wonderful for those who are constantly feeling like they're fighting life rather than living in the flow. I'm sure who can relate to that? I mean, I can certainly relate to that. You know, you're sort of swimming upstream rather than, you know, going downstream with the little fishies, you know, wherever you're going. So Cypress creates fluidity of the spirit, and the active pressure spot connects to the chest and lungs. So what we do with our Cypress is we just take a little bit, and it's just on the inside of the elbow creases here. So this spot and also the wrist creases creates, it's one of those acupressure points that leads to the lungs and the chest, you know, opening up the lungs and the chest as well.
Interesting. I might try that on my father.
Yeah.
You know, all his lung issues, that'd be great. Bit of
yeah.
Cypress, right?
Yep.
Yeah, cool. Thank you.
It's one of my underutilized oils until I started using it in this protocol, and now I use it a lot. All right. So we're all good so far? We need to have a drink?
Yeah.
Okay. So the next part is boosting self-esteem. So obviously boosting self-esteem is pretty important for us to, you know, make sure that we're living the very best version of ourselves we can. So fennel is the oil that will connect you with your personal needs and begin to say yes to all that you are. Fennel brings freedom because it gives permission to let go of unnecessary responsibilities and guides you to be honest with what matters to you. Lastly, fennel gives you the courage to speak up and live authentically. So fennel is placed on the inside of your wrist creases. So you can just put a little dash there, and that's a really good entry point for all of the oils there, and I'll just rub my wrists together like that.
One that I forget about, but it's so lovely when you smell it. I mean,
It is.
I don't often diffuse it, but when I do, I do. That's lovely.
Yeah.
My latest one, not this one, but the other one I had, it smells very different. It's I don't know what's different in it, but it smells very different to this one that I'm using now.
Yeah. I'm still on my first bottle of fennel just because it's one of those ones that I've never really known what to do with. So yeah, I've had mine probably for a couple of years, so no doubt there's a different batch out there now.
Yeah.
So yeah, fennel is the oil of responsibility. So the next two oils that you actually apply at the same time, and we're talking about oils that are going to support us honouring our body, I guess, in terms of the boosting self-esteem. So we know that bergamot is the oil of self-acceptance and grapefruit is the oil of honouring our body. And together, they're really, really powerful oils. So they show you how to love yourself unconditionally. You begin to honour your needs and experience total self-acceptance. It's time to fall deeply in love with you. When you genuinely love yourself, your confidence increases and the people around you feel it. So we're actually applying the oils to your solar plexus, which is actually the seat of confidence in your body. So these ones can be applied neat together or consecutively. So, so if you're diluting them, apply neat, or separately. Diluting together, neat separately. So to dab, you can see the solar plexus. It's just above your belly there.
Yep. My solar plexus increased a little bit over winter. Can I say that? Especially after Italy. Oh dear. Oh well.
You wouldn't be the only one, Andrea.
No. So not summer ready.
Oh, nice.
Such a nice combo, those two.
Mm.
They're beautiful, aren't they?
Mm.
Bergamot's just one of my. Sometimes I just need to stand there and just snort it. Love it. So that's our boosting. That's our boosting self-esteem. All good? Everyone's okay?
Mm.
All right. So the next section is clarity and vision. And the first oil that we're going to look at is Douglas fir. I did see Desiree and it might have been the same one that you were talking about, Catherine. It was a Facebook Live that she did somewhere. And she said that if you can only choose one essential oil to take away on a desert island, it would be Douglas fir, which was quite, one of those things that go, wow, that's such an impact. It's such an important oil to her emotionally. But it is the oil of generational wisdom. So Douglas fir helps to break destructive habits that cloud your thinking and vision for yourself. It allows for divine wisdom and guidance and brightens the mind so you can see your new path and gracefully transition to a new way of being. So it's my favourite out of the fir oils. So just going to take a little bit and we're applying it to the back of the neck.
It reminds me of Granny Smith apples every time I smell it.
Yeah, it does a bit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. It's a nice smell.
Yeah.
I don't use this much, and I think I need it.
It's beautiful.
It's really nice with wild orange and frankincense as a blend.
Yeah.
Aromatic dressing blend. It's lovely, those three together. Okay. So the second one in clarity and vision, not surprising if you know much about spearmint. So spearmint is actually the oil of confident speech. So spearmint's a really good one to apply before you do essential oil classes, because it does actually, and I have done this myself in situations where I am doing public speaking, just dilute it and apply some to the throat, and the difference it makes is incredible. It's quite a powerful oil. So it clears away thoughts that confuse and distract us from our life's mission. It can bring intense clarity and the ability to express our mission to others, and you will speak from a space of sincerity and confidence. So this is another one that's going directly on the top of our head. And it smells amazing, just amazing. So that's our clarity and vision. So we have our, you know, our Douglas fir, breaking our destructive habits. Once we've done that, then the spearmint is coming in and it's clearing away those thoughts, and it's making the pathway, I guess, for us to, you know, to have clarity and vision. So the last two in the application protocol are applied together. So we have ginger, which is the oil of empowerment, and cinnamon, which is the oil of sexual harmony. So these oils fill the heart with a passion, excitement, and a deep desire to live out one's purpose. This is a combination that creates movement and inspiration, and it increases courage so that no matter the obstacle, nothing or no one will stand in the way of your divine mission. So the way you can either make in a little aromatic dressing ball or a roller ball. I'm just going to pop a couple of dashes, drops of fractionated coconut oil in the palm of my hand, and just put one drop of each. Now, obviously, we know cinnamon is a hot oil, so we're just making sure that it is just the one drop. And together they just smell amazing together. So we're looking at the inside of the wrist creases here, like we did before with the Cypress, and underneath on our solar plexus.
Oh, that smells amazing.
Yeah, it does, doesn't it? So this is projecting ourselves. I hope you all put your ginger orders in, 10% off this month.
Yep.
So have another drink.
How good do our hands smell?
Mm-hmm. So that's the application protocol. These are some suggestions for affirmations that I put in for each section. So you can certainly just take a photo of those. They're not part of the course, but, you know, I think that affirmations are really powerful. If we're eliminating our overwhelm, we're telling ourselves that we're cleansing things and people that don't serve us. We're releasing unhealthy attachments, and we're accepting changes as they come. For our boosting self-esteem, I deserve to be happy and I deserve to be successful. I have the power to change myself. I can forgive and understand others and their motives. I can make my own choices and decisions, and I love and accept myself. For clarity and vision, when I follow my heart, I always find my way. Whenever I listen to my heart, I know why I'm here. Whenever I listen to my heart, I know what to do. I'm blessed with absolute clarity. Today, my purpose is clear. And then for protecting yourself, I'm safe. I'm always protected. I'm always guided and protected, and I can create freedom of movement. So there are only suggestions for you guys if you want to use those within the protocol. I didn't include them on the slides. When I do classes, I do, because it's really up to you if you want to incorporate that in as part of your protocol.
Yeah, lovely. Thanks, Sarah.
That's okay.
No.
So once I send you the text sheet on the email, you'll have a copy of that. the protocol is designed to be applied all of the oils at once, and then you move on to the blends, which we're going to talk about in a little bit. So if you feel like any part of you is stuck or blocked, you can actually just move back and do that part of the protocol. You don't have to do it all. So say if you're thinking that, you know, in your life you're needing more clarity and vision, you can move back to the clarity and vision section, and you can just do clarity and vision and then move on to whichever blends resonate with you. So every time I do the class, I kind of like, I feel way more energized. So I just love the whole protocol as it is, but it's quite flexible in terms of saying that, you know, you don't have to do all of it. You know, it's up to you just to be a little bit intuitive about that. Oh, okay, that's a bit wonky. Sorry about that. Okay, so the first 2 weeks we're looking at the Release Your Fears or Bye Bye Baggage blend. So if you've got the book, Release Your Fears is on page 3. So it is actually recommended to use these in the flow that they're listed here. And then just move forward with the sequence and blends. So Desiree will give you a choice of the ones that you can choose from. So Release Your Fears or Bye Bye Baggage. I personally started with Bye Bye Baggage because I absolutely loved it, and that's how much I've got left of my Bye Bye Baggage blend, because I don't know, had a lot of baggage, who knows, but yeah, it's actually really powerful. It's very strong. So what you'll find with these blends is they're super strong. Like there's 40 to 45 drops of oil in 5 ml. So it is important that we're actually blending in 5 ml. I bought my 5 ml bottles from Aromatools AU, but yeah, get them from wherever you like. Some people find them too strong. If you have to blend them in a 10 ml, do them in a 10 ml. I'd also probably suggest that you just test somewhere on your body, because I've seen a few ladies just get some I suppose some reactions from some of the oils, but yeah, they are stronger than the blends that I would usually make. But they're short-term therapeutic use. So when we look at our blending guidelines, like blending charts, when we're making a blend for short-term therapeutic use, it's going to be much stronger than what we would usually make it if it's like an emotional blend or, you know, like a pure fume or something like that. So Bye Bye Baggage is highly recommended as your first one. So Bye Bye Baggage assists you in releasing any kind of toxic people, places or circumstances from your life. So yeah, classic. So that's that one. Release Your Fears is also a nice one. So that's on page 3. So Release Your Fears is designed for the individual who is paralysed by many fears. So it really just depends on you which one you want to start with. So the next 2 weeks, you'd move on to the next 2. So you're choosing from either I Love Myself or Soothe the Soul. I personally went for I Love Myself. Really, it links up with lots of self-esteem issues or lack of self-esteem issues that I've had and always have had most of my life. So I really found that a useful blend. It's actually the blend that I was stuck on for longest. So yeah, having to work through that, you know, getting over that old baggage that I had. Once I've cleared the baggage, moving through the, you know, learning to love myself, or, you know, again, or for the first time, or whatever it is for you. So I Love Myself is on page 35, and Soothe the Soul is on page 31.
Sarah, that's the first one I put on when I got the book, that I Love Myself. That's the first one. You know how you flip open a book and it went, and I just went, okay.
Really?
Yeah,
So
and I actually put it in the diffuser and it was beautiful. I know it's a roller blend, but I put it all in the diffuser.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yep.
So I Love Myself is used when you have low self-esteem and have feelings of worthlessness. So you'll actually see that when you've got the oil, it tells you where to apply it. So I Love Myself is applied over the heart 3 times a day, and you can also apply to the inside of your wrists. Now, don't be too prescriptive about this. Don't just say, I can only apply this blend in that spot. You can apply it on your neck, where, you know, your arms, wherever you like, but they're just recommended points that Desiree states that, you know, would be good to apply those ones. So when you finish those, and I suppose I have to say about the 2 to 4 weeks, you will know when you're ready to move on to the next blend. You know, we're all going to be different. As I said, I took quite a long time with I Love Myself. You know, it was about 4 weeks. So, you know, but with Release Bye Bye Baggage, it was about 2.5 weeks. So it really just depends on you. So I'm going through on my path at the moment, and I'm actually finding that is working just incredibly well for me in terms of trying to define a bit of clarity in where I'm going, not just, you know, with, well, primarily with doTERRA, but also with my day job, which is a very demanding job and which I really, really enjoy. So, yeah, so just trying to sort of work out which path that I'm, you know, trying to take, and saying, can I successfully take both paths? So that this is, you know, that voyage of self-discovery that I'm on at the moment. So On My Path is on page 14. And that is across the forehead, back of neck, inside of elbow creases, and around the belly button. So, yeah, so that's a little bit different. On My Path is used when you're on the journey to discover your deepest purpose in life. And again, it's got the Hawaiian sandalwood in it, and I love Hawaiian sandalwood, so that's why I love sandalwood, full stop, so that's why I like that one. So the next 2 weeks is the I Am Fabulous blend. So that's just it. You don't use, there's no options there. I Am Fabulous you can find on page 68.
Sarah, can these blends be used with children or teenagers?
Yeah, you could definitely use them. How old's the teenager?
15?
Yeah. Yep.
Dilute it more though? Like put it in a 10 ml roller?
Well, probably 10 ml for the 15-year-old. Yeah. Yeah,
Okay.
definitely for emotional support. Yep.
Thanks.
So the I Am Fabulous is cinnamon, spearmint, wild orange, lemon, grapefruit, bergamot, and white fir, and it smells beautiful. So I'm Fabulous is the signature blend for this book. It brings strong feelings of self-confidence and excitement to the soul. You will feel invincible and believe that you can accomplish anything you put your mind to. How amazing does that sound?
Mm.
Has anyone made I'm Fabulous?
No, but I want to.
Okay. And the next 2 to 4 weeks is the Manifestors blend or Momentum. So Manifestors blend is on page 62. Momentum is on page 58. So I just suggest that, you know, you get the book, you have a look at the blends, read the description. Momentum is good when you're about to embark on a new journey that requires significant effort. And the Manifestors blend is for those of you who have many great ideas or glimpses of your highest potential, yet have not manifested them into your life. And that's the one I'll be using. So I'm going to be moving on to I Am Fabulous quite soon because I'm good with I Am on my path. And then I'll be using the Manifestors blend. But again, just giving you that choice to see what, you know, you feel like you need to move on with. Manifestors blend is heavy on the Cypress and the Douglas fir. So following this sequence of blends from the book, you'll accomplish these things. Heal the heart from pain or rejection and disappointment. Provide clarity on your divine purpose. Build confidence and create momentum as you project yourself out into the world. It's time for you to live your highest and best self. Share your talents with humanity because the world needs you to be fabulously you. There we go. So, is everybody okay? No one's like in a heap on the floor or anything like that? Everyone's still in their chair?
I feel pretty zen, actually.
Excellent. Now, how did you find that? Was there anything whilst we were going through the protocol that came up for you? You don't have to share it if you don't want to. It's just a question.
How often do we do this whole steps 1, 2, and 3, and 4 in a day? Just like morning and night?
Oh no, not that often.
No. Oh.
I wouldn't do it any more than every 2 weeks.
Oh, just put it on once.
Yeah, you're not doing
Oh, right.
today. Yeah.
Oh,
Because the
I
idea
see.
is you apply the protocol and then you follow it up with the blends. If
Oh.
you need to actually allow the blends a chance to work.
Mhm.
Yeah. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah. So give the blends a chance to work. Maybe I look, even I said 2 weeks. I wouldn't even do it any sooner than 4 weeks. I would do 2 weeks on each of the two blends, the first two blends, whichever ones resonate with you, and then see how you go. But give the blends a chance to work.
Yeah, I was just asking about the application and the number of times that you put it on whilst you're doing the blends.
Oh, during the 2 weeks.
Yeah, during the two.
And how often?
You don't. So you do the application protocol, and then you just do the blends. And then at some time whilst you're going through your blend sequence, you feel that you need to revisit the application protocol, then you go back to that. Either the whole application protocol or parts 1, 2, or 3 or 4, depending on which ones you feel you need. So we're not getting up every morning and doing the whole application protocol. Okay?
Okay.
Yeah. So for now, I would not do the application protocol again for at least 4 weeks. That's what I would recommend. I would be making the first blend as soon as you can and using that regularly, and then following it up with the second blend, whichever one that you want to make from the second sequence. And then you just intuitively feel how you're going with that. If you need to go and revisit the application protocol, then do that. Because applying it to the different spots on our body that we have applied it to, it is having a really profound effect on our body, because it is obviously going on neat, and then following it up with the blends that are very strong. So just have faith in the process, I suppose.
So make up a nice release your fears or bye-bye baggage tomorrow or tonight.
Yes, certainly.
And start bunging it on.
Start bunging it on. Yep.
How often would you apply it? Just whenever you feel that you need it.
Yep.
So it could be 5 times a day, it could be once.
Yep. I would say at least 10.
Yeah.
I have. So at my terminal at work, I've got all sorts of different blends, but I've got my own Fabulous, and then I've got usually my past tense and my peace and my neroli and whatever else is resonating with me on that day. But
the whole kit.
The whole kit and caboodle. Yeah. And I would be. Don't make it the only blend that you use, because of course we need to use different blends for different reasons. But just incorporate it as part of your day. It's nice and compact, and just stick it in your blends pouch and carry it around with you.
Okay.
Yeah.
Gorgeous.
So any questions or comments or concerns, there's my email address there, and my Facebook page, which you probably all have anyway, and my website. But thank you all so much for your attendance and your listening.
Thank you, Sarah.
Thank you, Sarah. It's okay. No,
it was really good.
How to stop recording it now? I know.
Thank you, Sarah.
There we go. Didn't need to show you all of that, did I? Oh, so Jana, how often do you apply the blends over the 2 weeks? Did I answer that one for you, Jana?
Yes, you did. Thank you.
Okay, cool. No worries. So everybody okay? All happy? Hi, Jana.
Thank you, Sarah.
Awesome.
I had the worst day because everything's been going wrong, and I nearly didn't make it on because of kids and everything. And I finally just went quick into bed. I was running around with the laptop while I was tucking them in. That's why I was all muted and off, trying to keep up with everything. And I just feel so relaxed now. It's just like, thank you.
No worries.
That day I was tired on my oils, and I haven't been able to get on top. It's been that mindset.
I'm just going to stop recording now. Hang